Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Learning English here is always practical, realistic, and completely natural.
That is right, Emma. Today, we are tackling a massive topic that makes almost every English learner sweat.
Oh, I know exactly what it is, Leo. Walking into a busy restaurant and ordering food.
It is terrifying, isn't it? The background noise, the fast-talking servers, the huge menu.
People freeze up completely. They end up pointing at pictures or ordering something they don't even like.
We don't want that for you. Today, we are going to give you the ultimate restaurant survival guide.
We will break down every single step, from the moment you open the front door to the moment you leave a tip.
And we are using real casual expressions, no stiff textbook phrases that sound robotic.
Exactly. We want you to sound like a native speaker who eats out every single weekend.
So, grab a seat, get comfortable, and let's dive straight into the first challenge.
Picture this, Leo. You walk through the doors of a trendy, buzzing downtown restaurant.
My stomach is already rumbling, Emma. What is the first thing we see?
You'll see a small podium or desk. That is the host stand, managed by the host or hostess.
They are the gatekeepers of the food. They control the seating chart.
Exactly. And before you can even look at a table, they are going to look up and greet you.
In a textbook, they say, "Good evening, sir. Do you have a reservation?"
But in reality, it's usually much faster and more casual, especially if it's crowded.
What do they actually say, Emma?
They might say, "Hi there, how many in your party?" Or just, "Table for how many?"
There's that word party again. It trips so many people up.
Right. New learners think they accidentally walked into a birthday celebration or a nightclub event.
But in the restaurant industry, your party is just the total number of people eating with you.
So, Leo, if it's just you and me, how do you respond naturally?
I would just look at them, smile, and say, "Hi, table for two, please."
Perfect. Short, crisp, and polite. You don't need a massive complex sentence structure.
What if we actually did make a reservation online beforehand?
Then you use this simple line. "Hi, I have a reservation under Leo."
Ah, under Leo. That means my name is the one written in the booking system.
Exactly. Now, what happens if the restaurant is completely packed and there are no open tables?
That is the worst nightmare when you are hungry. The host looks at a tablet and sighs.
They'll say something like, "Right now, it's going to be about a 45-minute wait."
45 minutes? I would pass out. What do they ask next?
They'll ask, "Can I get a name for the list?"
And I just give them my first name? Do I need to stand right there at the door?
Usually they'll tell you, "We'll text you when your table is ready," or "You can grab a drink at the bar."
Heading to the bar to wait is a very classic American restaurant custom.
Okay, let's fast forward. The host says, "Follow me," and walks us to a lovely booth by the window.
We sit down, open the menus, and take a deep breath. We survived the first step.
But don't get too comfortable yet. Within 2 minutes, your server will arrive.
They always come fast. They introduce themselves and immediately ask for a drink order.
They'll say, "Hi guys, my name is Sarah, and I'll be taking care of you tonight. Can I get you started with something to drink?"
There's a key phrase there, "get you started." It just means, do you want to order this first?
Yes, it's the standard opening line for almost every server in North America.
So how do we order water like a native? Because water isn't always just water.
This is a huge point, Leo. If you just ask for water, they'll bring you tap water with lots of ice.
Tap water is completely free in American restaurants, and they will keep refilling it without asking.
But if you want a premium option, they might ask, "Still or sparkling?"
Still water means bottled water without bubbles, like Fiji or Evian, and sparkling has bubbles.
And those options cost money. So if you want the free version, what do you say?
You can say, "Just tap water is fine," or "I'll just take a water with lemon, please."
Adding with lemon is a great insider trick. It makes plain tap water taste a bit fancier.
What if I want a soda? Do I ask for a soda, a pop, or a Coke?
It depends entirely on where you are traveling. In New York, it's soda. In Chicago, it's pop. In Atlanta, everything is a Coke.
That is wild. To be safe, just use the specific brand name, like Sprite or Diet Coke.
Great advice. And don't forget the classic American obsession, iced tea.
Oh, yes. If you order iced tea in the southern United States, it comes packed with sugar automatically.
It is practically syrup. So if you don't want sugar, you must explicitly say unsweetened iced tea.
Let's practice the exact phrase for ordering a drink. Leo, show them how it's done.
I would say, Can I get a Diet Coke with extra ice, please?
Perfect. Can I get is incredibly natural and polite without being stiff.
The server dashes off to get our drinks, leaving us with the massive food menu.
This is where the real vocabulary test begins. The menu is broken into distinct phases.
The very first section you see at the top or on the left page is labeled appetizers or starters.
These are small portions of food designed to be eaten quickly before the heavy food arrives.
Think of things like mozzarella sticks, garlic bread, spinach dip, or chicken sliders.
In native culture, appetizers are almost always a social experience. We share them.
Absolutely. It is a ritual. You look across the table and say, "Do you want to split an appetizer?"
Split means to divide or share. So how do we tell the server we want to share the food?
When she returns with the drinks, you say, "We're going to start with the spinach dip for the table."
Ah, for the table. That is a brilliant phrase. It tells the server to put it in the middle of the table.
Exactly. And a great server will instantly understand and say, "Great, I'll bring out some small plates for you guys."
Moving down the menu, what comes next after the starters?
You will usually see sections for soups and salads, and then the main section, entrees or mains.
Entree is an interesting word because it sounds French, but Americans use it to mean the big primary dish.
Yes, your main course. The steak, the pasta, the salmon, or the giant gourmet burger.
Emma, look at the time. We are getting deep into the food details, and I see our listeners nodding along.
They are learning the real secrets today, Leo. If you are finding these restaurant phrases helpful, take a quick second to support us.
Hit that like button right now, and definitely hit subscribe so you can join our global classroom every week.
It really helps our channel grow, and it ensures you never miss a real-world English breakdown.
Plus, we have an interactive challenge for you today. Drop a comment below right now answering this question. What is the one dish you always order when you visit a new restaurant?
I love reading those comments. I bet a lot of people will say steak or pizza.
Let's see what they write. Now, let's jump straight back into our simulated restaurant journey.
The server comes back. Our appetizer plates are empty, and we are ready for the main course.
She pulls out her notepad, looks at us, and asks the ultimate question.
Are we ready for the mains, or do you guys need a few more minutes to look things over?
Let's pause right here. What if you genuinely are not ready because you cannot read the English descriptions fast enough?
Do not panic, and do not just point randomly. Use this exact face-saving phrase.
Can we get just a couple more minutes, please? We're still deciding.
The server will always smile and say, "No problem at all. Take your time." It is totally acceptable.
But let's assume we are confident and ready to order. What grammar structure should we use?
Avoid saying, "I want the chicken." To native ears, "I want" sounds demanding, like a little kid.
Instead, we use two classic modal structures. I'll have thee or can I get thee?
Let's look at "I'll have." It uses the contraction for "I will." It sounds relaxed and smooth.
For example, I'll have the grilled salmon with a side salad, please.
And "can I get" is a soft, polite request. "Can I get the mushroom risotto, please?"
Both of these are used hundreds of times a day in every cafe and restaurant across the country.
Now, ordering the main item is only half the battle. Then comes the wave of follow-up questions from the server.
Oh, the questions can be tricky. Let's start with the classic steak question.
If you order a steak, the server will immediately look at you and ask, "How would you like that cooked?"
This is a massive vocabulary trap. You cannot say cooked well or cooked normal.
Right. There are 5 specific cultural terms for steak doneness that you must memorize.
Let's list them clearly from least cooked to most cooked.
First is rare. This means the center is very red, cool, and raw.
Next is medium rare. This is the favorite of most chefs. It has a warm, pink, juicy center.
Then we have medium, which has a solid band of pink in the middle.
After that is medium well, which is mostly brown with just a slight hint of pink.
And finally, well done. This means the meat is completely brown throughout, with absolutely no pink color left.
So your response should be fast and direct. I'll take that medium rare, please.
Perfect. The next interrogation topic is sides.
Many entrees come with a choice of side dishes. The server will say, does that come with a side of fries, mashed potatoes, or grilled veggies?
If you want to know if a side costs extra money, you can ask, is that included or is it an upgrade?
That is a brilliant financial question to avoid surprises on the bill.
Now, what if you have an allergy or you simply hate a specific ingredient, like raw onions on a burger?
You need to know how to modify your food without sounding like a difficult customer.
Use the magic preposition without, or the casual verb phrase hold the.
Hold the is a very native restaurant idiom. It means do not include this item in my food.
For example, can I get the classic bacon cheeseburger, but hold the onions, please?
Or, can I get the Caesar salad, but can you put the dressing on the side?
Getting dressing on the side is incredibly common. It gives you complete control over how much sauce goes on your lettuce.
The kitchen works its magic, and after 15 minutes, the server brings out 2 massive steaming plates of food. The food looks incredible, Emma. We start eating, but then the server returns after exactly 2 bites.
They always do that. It is an industry standard called the 2-bite check-in.
They look at the table and say, how is everything tasting so far? Can I get you guys anything else?
If the food is perfect, you just smile with your mouth closed and say, everything is great, thank you.
But what if something went completely wrong? What if you ordered fries, but they brought you a bowl of broccoli instead?
This is where intermediate learners get terrified. They don't want to cause trouble, so they just eat the broccoli in silence.
Please don't do that. Restaurants want you to get what you paid for. You just need to complain politely.
The secret formula for a polite complaint is starting with "excuse me" and using the phrase "I think."
I think softens the sentence so you don't sound aggressive or accusatory.
Let's do a mini role play. Leo, complain about the incorrect broccoli side dish.
Excuse me, Sarah. I think I ordered the French fries with my burger, not the broccoli.
See how polite that sounds? A professional server will immediately apologize and say, "Oh, I am so sorry about that mistake. Let me run back to the kitchen and swap that out for you right away."
And you just reply with, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Total harmony.
What if you run out of water or soda during the meal? How do you ask for more? Catch the server's eye as they walk past and say, "Could I get a refill on this when you have a chance, please?" When you have a chance is a very polite phrase that acknowledges the server is busy, which makes them want to help you even faster. We stuffed ourselves, Leo. There are still 3 slices of pizza left on the tray, but our stomachs are completely full.
In many cultures, leaving food behind is expected, or taking it home is unusual, but in America, it is a daily habit.
Portion sizes in the US are notoriously massive. Taking food home is completely normal and expected.
But how do we ask for a container without sounding awkward? What is the correct terminology?
You can ask for a to-go box, a box, or a doggy bag, though box or container is most common now.
And you can ask the server to do it or ask them to bring the box to the table so you can do it yourself.
If you want them to do it, you say, "Could you wrap this up for me, please?"
If you want to do it yourself, you say, can I get a box for the rest of this pizza, please?
The server will bring over a cardboard or plastic container, and you can pack your lunch for tomorrow.
Now we reach the final stage of the restaurant journey, the absolute peak of confusion for international travelers, paying the bill.
The server clears away the empty plates and asks, "Did we save room for any dessert tonight, or can I get you the check?"
If you want to skip dessert and leave, you can just say, just the check, please.
Let's talk about vocabulary. Is it the bill or the check?
In the United States and Canada, the check is much more common inside the restaurant. In the UK, people say the bill, but American servers will understand perfectly.
Now, what if you are eating dinner with a coworker or a friend, and you don't want to pay for each other's food?
You need to clear this up before the server prints out the paper receipt. It makes their life so much easier.
Exactly. If you wait until they bring the final bill, changing it requires a manager's code and causes a huge delay.
So when the server asks if you want the check, what do you say if you want to pay separately?
You look at the server and say, "Can we split the check, please?" Or, "Could we do separate checks?"
Separate checks means the server will create 2 completely independent bills based on exactly what each person ate.
Splitting the check can also mean dividing the total bill exactly in half, 50-50, regardless of who ate what.
If you want to pay 50-50, you can say, you can just split it evenly between these 2 credit cards.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room, tipping culture in America.
This causes so much anxiety. International visitors feel stressed because they don't know the rules.
Let's lay out the modern reality clearly. In sit-down restaurants with table service, tipping is not optional. It is how servers earn their living.
Because the base wage for restaurant servers in the US can be incredibly low,
The tips make up their actual income.
Exactly. So, what is the standard percentage breakdown right now?
A 15% tip means the service was okay, standard, or acceptable.
A 18% to 20% tip is the modern golden standard for good, attentive, friendly service.
And if the server went completely above and beyond to make your night amazing, people often leave 22% or 25%.
How do you actually calculate and pay the tip?
If you are paying with a credit card, the server will bring you a little leather folder with the receipt. You slide your card in and they go process it. When they bring the card back, there will be a new piece of paper with a blank line that says tip or gratuity and a line below it that says total. You write the math out yourself with a pen. You write the tip amount, add it to the bill amount, and write the final total at the bottom.
If you are paying with cash, you can just calculate the tip and leave the cash bills directly on the table before you stand up and walk away.
Once the money is on the table or the receipt is signed, you are completely free to leave. You don't need to wait for the server to come back and check it.
You just stand up, catch their eye one last time, smile, and say, "Thank you so much. Have a great night."
Wow, Emma, we just successfully traveled from the front door all the way to signing the credit card receipt.
It is a complete journey. Let's do a fast lightning round review of our 4 absolute golden phrases.
These are the phrases that will carry you through 90% of any restaurant interaction in the English-speaking world.
Phrase number 1, requesting a table. What do we say, Leo?
Table for 2, please. Simple, direct, polite.
Phrase number 2, ordering your drinks or your main entree.
Can I get thee or I'll have thee? Never say I want.
Phrase number 3, asking for an ingredient to be removed from your dish.
Can I get the burger but hold the onions, please?
And phrase number 4, asking for the final financial breakdown at the end of the meal.
Can we get the check, please? And could we do separate checks? If you can master just those 4 core linguistic structures, you will look like a confident, fluent speaker every time you walk into a restaurant. Absolutely. It takes all the fear out of the experience.
Don't forget that practicing these conversations before you go out into the real world is the best way to build muscle memory.
And if you want to practice right now, 24/7 without any stress, remember that our custom AI assistant, Mr. English AI, is always ready for you.
You can have a full, simulated restaurant conversation with the AI directly on your phone or computer. The link is waiting for you right down in the video description.
Check it out after this lesson ends to test your new skills.
Thank you so much for spending your time learning with us today, everyone.
Keep practicing, keep eating delicious food, and we will see you in our very next conversational lesson.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye, guys. See you next time.